To India now, where police are on a drive to detain and deport Bangladeshi immigrants following a government directive. But activists say those being detained are mostly Indians who speak Bengali, who are also often Muslim. This is leading to an exodus of Bengali-speaking Indian workers from urban centers. Many of them are fleeing home to their families in the states of Assam and West Bengal. The city of Gurugram, which borders New Delhi, is seeing the consequences of this exodus of sanitation and domestic workers who keep the city functional. DW Special Correspondent Nimisha Jaiswal reports from Gurugram.
This is my father, my mother, and that's me.
Moifadul Islam doesn't have much, but he has his documents. He's been through a verification before, and his family is listed on a citizen register in his home state of Assam. Yet, 2 weeks ago, police picked him up from where he lives in this slum in the middle of the night.
I didn't get to ask any questions. They didn't let us talk. They didn't even ask us if we had our IDs or not. They just arrested us. What can we do? And then they threatened us and scared us.
The tech and finance city of Gurugram depends on the labor of migrants like Moifadul. Recently, police have reportedly detained hundreds like him and Akhtaru Sheikh on suspicion of being Bangladeshi.
They made me strip to my underwear. They said they'll just look at my documents and let me go. I showed them so many papers, even documents from my grandfather's grandfather. They said, no, you're Bangladeshi. You've forged these.
Both men say they were held for a week. The police here did not want to speak to us on camera, but they did say that they have been detaining only suspected Bangladeshis and that any Indians with legitimate documents have nothing to fear. They denied anybody was held for more than 3 or 4 days, and they said nobody was ill-treated. They also claimed that they did identify Bangladeshis who they will now deport, and that this verification drive will continue. Mukul Sheikh has spent the last weeks visiting scared family members of those detained and trying to reassure those who have just been released. He rejects the police narrative and says in the 25 years he's lived here since leaving West Bengal, he's never seen anything like this.
Is it a crime to be a Muslim and a Bengali speaker? Why are they only questioning the poor? There are well-off people from West Bengal too. Why don't they raid their homes and arrest them? The educated can defend themselves, so they won't question them. They'll only target the poor.
Most domestic, sanitation and daily wage workers in the city are Bengali-speaking migrants. Since the detentions began, many have fled in fear, leaving the city sitting in its own trash.
Will the educated do their own dirty work? Only the poor clean houses. Now, as all the workers leave, people will find out what happens in a week's time, when all the trash piles up.
Both Moifuddin and Akhtaru will remain. There's no work at home to provide for their families, so they stay, even at the risk of being detained again.
I feel really sad. I was born here, and they call me Bangladeshi. They picked up a Hindu man in front of me, saw his name and let him go. They told him to go on his way, but when they heard my Muslim name, they detained me.
Akhtaru says he grew up alongside Hindus hearing their hymns. He sometimes sings them outside temples to earn tips. He says Indians are brothers and should not allow the authorities to divide them.
We can now speak to Supanta Sinha. He is a Supreme Court advocate and a human rights activist, and he joins us from Delhi. Welcome to DW. Can you explain to us why Bengali Muslims are being targeted in this way?
See, as per my understanding of this entire situation, I find it to be an identity-targeted detention. So it is completely being done in a very political manner in order to politicize this issue. So if you ask me for a specific reason, even we have not received any clear reasons from the government. Even government is very vague as to why such targeted detentions are happening.
We've also seen in the report that people have been saying that they even have the right documents, and yet they're still being detained. So how exactly are police going about identifying these people?
Yeah, that's the most problematic scenario. So in India, we don't have a concept of citizenship certificate. So in case a person has all the government IDs, which in India is voter ID, Aadhaar card, ration card, PAN card. So they are considered to be the citizens of India. And these are the people, at least the ones that I have interacted with, all of them have all these valid government IDs. Their names were on election, the voter list, and they have cast their vote as recently as the last election. Despite this, now police are detaining these individuals. Majority of them are migrant workers belonging from the working class segment of the society, under the pretext that they will be verifying their identity credentials and they'll be verifying whether they are the citizens of this country or not. And the most surprising thing is, even the police is failing to disclose any proper parameters on the basis of which they are detaining them. It's completely on the whims and fancies of the police as it could be made out. Because every time somebody is asking them question, what are the parameters you are taking into consideration in order to identify a particular person, whether this person is a suspect or not, based on what parameters you are identifying them, even police does not have any cogent reason. They don't have any cogent answer. They are just referring to some MHA directive. But what that directive is, that is not on public record.
Well, there's already been quite a lot of criticism by rights groups about these detentions, but has there been any response from the Indian government?
No, the response from the Indian government so far, unfortunately, is very vague. There is no proper response. There is no proper address towards this specific issue.
And now we understand that you, in fact, visited one of the detention centers in Gurugram. What were the conditions there?
The conditions were not at all good. People were kept crammed up in a single hall. So it was a civil community center which was turned into a detention center. And they were not calling that detention center. They were camouflaging that by calling it a holding center. But that was basically a place where these people were kept under detention for more than 24 hours. So in India, as per Indian law, if somebody is being detained, that person has to be produced before the magistrate within 24 hours. In this scenario, they were kept under detention for more than 24 hours without affording them the right to be represented by a lawyer of their choice, or allowing them to contact their family members. And based on my interaction with the people who were earlier detained over there, they were saying that the conditions inside the detention centers are miserable, because even I was not allowed to go inside the detention center. So what I can say is based on what my interactions have been with those detainees. So they said that they were not being given proper hygienic food, or there was no proper hygiene facility in those detention center. So yeah, overall the scenario, what I could gather, was not very humane, was a bit pathetic.
That was Supanda Singh, Supreme Court advocate and human rights activist. Many thanks indeed for speaking to us.
Thank you.